I'm here with Professor Hsiu-Hshi Chen from Taiwan to talk about COVID situation in both Taiwan and the world. Professor Hsiu-Hshi Chen, welcome to this interview to Poder 360.
Thank you very much for your invitation. It's my pleasure to have an interview with you. Yeah.
Perfect. So let's go to the first question. Taiwan was one of the most successful countries in dealing with the pandemics until the first quarter of 2021. How was it possible to achieve it, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think there are two crucial factors responsible for such kind of the well-controlled epidemic in the world. One is about the timely border control, and the other one is about the very good, well-performed the non-pharmaceutical the measures, interventions, which include the wearing facial mask and also social distancing. Yeah. So there are two the important.
Okay. What were the country's measures to map and quarantine people potentially infected? In terms of technology, how was it done?
Yeah, we have a two stage. The first stage, actually, we make use of the administration systems, and also combine with health authority and also police system to have digital surveillance and with those who are potential of being quarantined and also isolated. So this is the fourth stage for using certain system, to monitor those who have been quarantined and also isolated. And the second stage, actually, we also combine with our national health insurance, the data systems, and use our healthcare system.
According to our data, Taiwan vaccinated less than 1% of its population until the beginning of May, when the coronavirus outbreak erupted. Why was it? Did the government believe there was no need to rush with the vaccine before the outbreak?
Yeah. I think buying the vaccine is always the top priority of a government. In addition to MPI, we already mentioned, and testing are also, both of them are important. But the vaccine is still the most strong weapon against the emerging infectious disease. I mean, including the SARS-CoV-19 too. To buy the vaccine is always our pain in the neck, because we don't have admission ticket to get involved with the delivery of vaccine around the tables, even through the COVID, the COVAX platform or other company, production company, with that delivery the vaccine, like the BNT or the Moderna. So I think one of the crucial factors is still in the political influence, probably from mainland China. Yeah, this is one of the things we are also faced with that. Yeah.
See, so difficulties in obtaining vaccines were the main reason for the situation, right?
Yep. Yeah. So we actually during the negotiation about the vaccine, for example, for the BNT, we are faced with so many the non-scientific factors to interfere with the completion of getting the vaccine process. Yeah. Yeah, I think the two factors account for this community acquired outbreak through the very small cluster infection happening in one of the low socio-economic status in Taipei, and also associated with the sexual workers, and in the closed setting when they have a small gathering. And I think the important thing is they don't have any the NPI procedure like I explained, about the facial masking, and also they get very close contact with the alpha virus, SARS-CoV-19 2 infections, and that virus actually have a strong, transmission compared with the wild type and also the D6114, type of the virus before.
I see. What is the situation right now regarding coronavirus transmission in Taiwan?
Yeah, I think after 2 months, after that's the hotspot from the area I just mentioned, and they spread over across counties from north to south. So Taiwan government has raised the level 2 to the level 3 about 2.5 months. So right now the epidemic has been contained, and now we have very few confirmed cases, almost close to zeros. And during this process, we are also faced with the small Delta cluster infections, and the government again, use the level 3 alert level to contain such kind of the outbreak. So right now, we are in a good condition and also in a good shape. About.
Do you think there are risks of things getting worse again, or no? It's pretty much controlled in your vision.
I think after this outbreak in May, and the people awareness on the COVID-19 has been raised and also been strengthened as well. So I think right now it's a go toward the good condition for the people. But unfortunately, we are also surrounded by the Delta, virus infection, in the world. So we actually just right now, about the two cluster infections happening last week about the Delta, infection as well.
What are your assessment of the risks imposed by Delta? Do you think there could be a big increase in transmission and lethality in the world as a consequence of Delta variant?
Yeah, I think the Delta variant has the two unique features compared with the Alpha virus. One is the enhancement of the transmission compared with Alpha by 60%. But the important thing is their mutation site also have a chance of escaping, the immune, recognitions, and that reduce the protection of the antibodies triggered by vaccine. So we have faced with a vaccine breakthrough, like in the USA, also in Europe. So Taiwan right now, one of the cluster infection I just mentioned about Delta infections also resulted from vaccine breakthrough after the 2 vaccines among the pilots. And about the kindergarten, they are also the one infected case, with 2 doses of Moderna, and also have a breakthrough. So I think the Delta, the virus, will raise, the risk of vaccine breakthrough. So we have to combine, the NPI and also the testing, including the rapid testing, to identify the Delta virus, together with gene sequencing, to identify the same strand of the epidemic chain, and in order to finish the curb the transmission chain as quick as possible. Yeah.
Other countries which you could mention are doing what should be done to contain this variant and the regular variant as well of the virus. What is being done is what should be done right now?
Oh yeah, I think for Taiwan, right now, although we have provided the good example of the containing the COVID-19 epidemics, but in the face of the Delta virus, and also other virus infections, I think we still need to fight against together with the world, to hope to end the COVID-19 pandemic, in the coming years. But I think, one of the things I wanted to add is the vaccination rate, is not very, even distributed, around the world, which will make people like me to worry about how can we end the COVID-19 pandemic before the 2022 or 2023. But I think we have to get together to fight against the COVID-19 pandemic, particular in the face of the new virus, the new variant of the SARS-CoV-2 virus. Yeah.
So the solution for the world would be to increase the speed of vaccination, or is it the main point?
That's my main point, because we are in the same boat in terms of the COVID-19 pandemic. If only in some country has get the good control of the COVID-19, that does not mean you can always keep the safe about the COVID-19 pandemic, because you have to think about when and how, when the border controls would be opened because of the economical considerations. Yeah.
I see. When do you think the world will be again in a let's say normal situation where people can travel around and everything, not worrying about the coronavirus?
I'm not quite sure for the time being, when and how, but it depends on the situations people would think about. If we don't have open the border control and resume the pre-pandemic activity like before, that situation would make the people in the world not go toward the global village. So I think from my viewpoint, in Europe and also in the USA, in the coming the 6 months, they will consider reopening the border control in the futures. So in the Asian countries like the Taiwan, we will consider to prepare how do we receive such kind of the reopening policies with a threat from the VOC variant. And I think we have to consider this as the coming strategy in terms of the border control. Yeah.
Perfect. We're going towards the end of the interview, and I'd like to ask you before, what were the good and bad experiences in the world regarding the pandemic in the last well, almost a year, a little more than a year?
I think I should have say, you know, Taiwan is one of the countries, and also New Zealand. You know, like New Zealand, we provide a very good epidemical control in the world to show, you know, even we have in a low vaccination rate, we still can have a good epidemical control. But I think, on the other hand, you know, Taiwan has to consider, in addition to have a well epidemic controls, we need to think about how to balance, you know, the street NPI that cause, you know, the economical situations from domestic side rather from the well. Rather in the foreign side, you know. So this is one of the situation Taiwan provide a good example for the epidemic control. But in the big examples, I can always see the Indian, you know, since they have a Delta virus variants that spread over to other countries, and now they go back to the Asian countries, and also in some of the Africa country, and also in the South Americas, that cause, you know, a large scale of the epidemic, which also deprive them of having poor economical, which that worry the people in the world like me, you know, to have the you know, the repercussion of such kind of the economical force in the future. So I think this is one of the two extreme examples we have to consider: good epidemic control and the poor epidemic control. But at the same time, how to consider very good balance between the optimal use of the NPI and also the vaccination rate, the optimal vaccination rate allocations, and try to balance the situation to make the world to reach, you know, the better, you know, quality of life. And
so, if I could understand well, even with vaccination, you think NPI is needed to keep the transmission under control, right?
That's right. But at that time, to what extent the NPI has been implemented, it's should vary from country to country. So every country should evaluate in order not to in order not to overwhelm the medical capacities. We should evaluate what is the threshold or NPI for each countries. So that should be carefully assessed in the future. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Professor Hsiu-Hshi Chen, thank you very much for this interview, for Poder 360 em Brasil.